Hello and welcome. My name is Lexi, and today we're going to take a look at the new Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal liners for summer 2023. She released 3 new vivid shades that are limited edition. I have eye swatches. I also created this eye look completely with the liners today. And, I'm also testing out a Trish McEvoy lipstick and the Armani blush in shade number 10. So those will be in a feature video. Today we're going to focus on the Victoria Beckham liners, and I'm going to swatch all of the ones that I have, so which might be all of them. So let's go ahead and get started. I'd like to start off by saying thank you so much, Victoria Beckham, for gifting these to me. I was actually buying them myself, and then they showed up at my doorstep. So very excited to see these. And they are available on the Victoria Beckham website as a set. You can purchase all 3 of them. You get a 10% discount when you buy all 3 of them as a set. Or they have some other set combinations available as well if you don't want all 3. So definitely take a look. One of the great things about the sets on their website is that you can choose the particular shades that you want, at least for most of the set options. So I like that because you're not always necessarily stuck into getting something that you might already have. So we're going to go ahead and start off with swatches of these 3 new shades. And then we are going to go ahead, take a look at the eye swatches, some details, and then we'll look at all of my Victoria Beckham kajals. Now, if you're not familiar with the Victoria Beckham eyeliners, these have a end with a point and then an end with the sponge tip for blending. These are incredibly smooth and creamy. This one here is the shade Cherry Blossom. So you can see it is a nice, it's a cool tone pink, but it's not overly cool. There's a little bit of lavender hue to this pink, and that actually really helps prevent that red eye look. So this is Cherry Blossom. Let me go ahead. This is kind of dull for me using it now, but there's a line of it, and you can see this is just like so creamy. Now, can these be used in the waterline? Some people have great success with these liners in the waterline. I personally do not. They smudge for me. I love these for a smudged out smoky eye look. You can also use them all over as eyeshadow, which I did today. So this one here is called Sour Apple. Let's go ahead and there we go. And by the way, with these liners, when you purchase these, you have the option of purchasing them with or without a sharpener. I believe it's a $2 difference if you choose to get the sharpener. So they do have a very nice sharpener, but once you have one, you don't really need more. So I think it's a great option that you can get it either way. And then this third shade is Electric Blueberry. And if you look at these, you can actually see the creaminess of these just from the swatches. I have to say, I really love all 3 of these shades. The blue and the pink actually blend together very nicely to make a beautiful purple shade. I really like that. I love the blue and the green together, make a gorgeous teal. There's just so many different combinations you can get with these. And I love the texture and finish of the eye kajals. They are one of the eyeliners that I use most. Again, I like to have mine smudged. So let's go ahead and move to the eye demos. For the eye demos, I did one sort of like a wing liner on my right eye, and the other one I did a smudged out winged eyeliner, and I used a smudge tip on the other end of the eyeliner, which does actually kind of fade the shade a little bit more. If you're using a regular like makeup brush, then you can still keep that color a little bit more impactful. But I wanted to show you kind of like the lightest and the deepest that you'll see for these particular shades. Now, just some details about these eyeliners. These have 1.1 gram of product, and they are cruelty-free. They have a 2-year shelf life, and these are made in Italy. Now, these shades are currently listed as exclusive to the Victoria Beckham website. I do not know whether or not they will go to other retailers or not because they are limited edition. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were only available on the Victoria Beckham website because of that limited edition status, which is not really all that common for Victoria Beckham. They don't typically do too many limited edition items. So I was actually just looking at the website, and if you get the sharpener or you choose not to get the sharpener, right now at least, it is actually, they're both showing up as $30 for me. So even in the cart, moving all the way to the checkout process, it used to have a monetary difference. So just something to know, if you don't have a sharpener, it might be a good time to get one because you're not getting charged that extra fee. So just some details from the Victoria Beckham site. These are a highly pigmented, ultra creamy pencil with waterproof wear that lasts all day. Delivers rich, true color payoff with a single stroke. Glides on with ease and blends seamlessly. Sets for smudge-free, waterproof, long wear staying power. It's infused with vitamin E, hydrating provitamin B5, and calming chamomile. And again, this is one that you can manually sharpen, which I personally really like for eyeliners because you can get a more precise tip. Now, because it is so creamy, that precision of that tip does wear down pretty quickly. But I have to say, I really like these. So it does say that they are smudge-free, waterproof, long wear staying power. I would like to explain a little bit about that because in my experience, they will set after a few minutes, and then they do become, they don't really move so much. Do they move at all? If you go and you take your finger and you smudge it later on in the day, I do still get smudging, but it's not significant. However, as I mentioned, I can't wear these in the waterline. I can never get them to truly set there long enough. My eyes are more sensitive, so they can be more watery than other people's, but that is just something to know. I think these are best for a more smudgy eye look personally. And just a few other notes. These are dermatologist tested, ophthalmologist tested. They're safe for contact lens use, safe for the waterline and so forth, but they're also gluten-free. So just something to know for any of you who have a true gluten allergy, that definitely is something important to note. So let's go ahead and take a look at swatches of all of the Victoria Beckham liners. I did recently pick up Bordeaux, which I have not actually tried before. So we're going to open that up and swatch that. And I'm going to try to organize these by finish. So we're going to start off with the matte liners. So here's Bordeaux. Oh, you know what? All right. Can you see that a little bit better? Here's Bordeaux. And you can see that is a nice, rich burgundy shade here. And this is actually a really nice burgundy because it definitely has red in it, but it's got more of that reddish brown. So I have to say, I think that the Bordeaux shade is actually really nice. I held off on getting this for the longest time because I was afraid of more of that red eye look. But looking at the actual tone of this and the kind of the depth of color, I don't think that's going to be an issue. So I could be wrong, but I did want to share that with you. Now let's go ahead and move on to the next shade. This one here is Fig, and this has come out recently, and I should have swatched these a little differently, but let's go with it. So here's Fig, and you can see that this is going to be a purple tone here, and this is really kind of your quintessential grape bubblegum. So, it's kind of that neutral purple shade, think of like grape juice, it's got that balance of the pink and the blue in there. So that's another one that I like because it doesn't have too much red. Surfside is another one of the newer shades here. And this is a really beautiful teal shade here. And I really like this shade. This is going to be more of a blue-based teal. And if you remember your Crayola crayons, your classics from when you were younger, they had a shade called Green Blue. And then they also had a Blue Green. Blue Green was a little bit lighter. Green Blue was a bit more vibrant. This is actually very much like Green Blue. And I always remember that because I preferred Green Blue over Blue Green. Okay, this one here is Navy Noir. And this is your classic navy. Nice deep blue. Again, a really balanced shade here. Navy noir, blue, black. I would definitely say it's more of a true deep navy. It's really a classic shade. Next, we have the classic Cocoa. So this is your classic deep brown. I love this shade of brown because it's neutral, leaning cool. It's not too dark. You can definitely tell it's brown. And it's got a nice richness and depth of color. And this one here is Ash. And this is going to be your deep charcoal gray. And a lot of times your charcoal grays are going to be pretty cool. This actually has some warmth to it. So again, we're looking at a shade that's very balanced in tone. It's not really a warm gray, but it's not really a cool gray either. And this one here is black. So these are going to be your matte liners. You can see we have a nice, rich, true deep black here. Again, we've got Bordeaux, Fig, Surfside, Navy Noir, Cocoa, Ash, and Black. Let's move on to the shimmer shades. All right, so shimmer, we've got Sea Gray here. We're gonna actually have to put these on the other side of the arm now. But here's Sea Gray, and you can see that these have kind of your rich metallic finish. This is actually gonna be a bit more silver. It's really more, you know, it's not gonna be a bright silver. It's not as muted as a pewter. It's kind of in between a pewter and a silver, and you've got that beautiful metallic finish there. This one here is bronze, and again, this is pretty true to a bronze shade. You know, it has maybe perhaps a little bit more of that like olive patinaed bronze appearance to it, and this one's gonna be a bit warm. You can tell that the metallic effect, it's still there in the bronze, but it isn't quite as prominent as it is in the Sea Gray. The Sea Gray, you can see a bit more shimmer. There's actually true shimmer in the Sea Gray. You can see glitter particles, whereas the bronze is really more of a true metallic. And this one here is olive. And I have to say, this one here to me is not really that olive. I don't really see a whole lot of green in here. It really looks more like a gray with a touch of green. It's not olive to me. It's really more of like kind of that, you know, if you see like a forest of evergreen trees as dusk is hitting, you get like the shadow and so forth on there. So you've got kind of that depth of color plus that like hint of green. That's what I see with olive. So I'm actually missing the copper shade in the shimmer line. So I have all of them except for copper, but these are the ones that I have. And again, the fourth shade is copper, which is, in the photos at least, it looks more like a true copper. It's got that brightness. So let's move on to our next finish. This is going to be the jewel finish. So these are the ones that came out over the winter. Now we're going to start off with Gold Lame. We're going to put these down here. Now Gold Lame, this one's kind of a little different because this one actually has translucency to it. I think this one here, you know, it looks great as a liner, but if you go to smudge this out, it really ends up looking more like a topper, you know, because there is so much translucency in the base. But it is a really beautiful neutral gold. It's not too yellow. You've got some sparkle in here. It's a really pretty shade. But this one I just don't love as much because I do wish it had a more opaque base to it. This one is Sequin Green. This is a really nice shade. And you can see how much lighter this is than olive. This, again, though, does not scream super green. Again, you still kind of have a bit of gray in there. And this is more of your medium tone green. But to me, it reminds me more of like a camo green than like either, you know, a true like olive. It's got some sparkle in here as well, but again, you've got kind of that gray base in there, so it's not super green. And here we have Night Flash. This one I really, really like. I think this one's really awesome. In this one here, you can see we've got silver shimmer over kind of a gray blue base. So, you know, I think this one's just a bit more unique because you get that flash of shimmer, the silver shimmer that brightens it up, but the base itself is like a gray blue. And it's just, I don't know, it just seems really sophisticated to me. I really love this shade and I love the flash of shimmer with it. Now, I have to say, Cocoa has always been my most used shade, but since this came out this winter, Smoky Quartz is the one I use the most. This is going to be a bit lighter. And you can see that this is really going to be a soft, cool tone brown. And it's almost a taupey brown. And you can see that there's a little shimmer in here. The shimmer is more, it's going to be more like of a silver pewter shimmer. Mixed with that brown, it gives it more of that taupe appearance. So this is my favorite shade out of all of these. And I have to say, I think they're really great. So one more time, let's go through all of them. So these are the new limited edition summer collection. We have Electric Blueberry, Sour Apple, Cherry Blossom, Here in the shimmer finish, we have sea gray, bronze, and olive. In the jewel tone finish, we have gold lame, we have sequin green, night flash, and smoky quartz. And then over here in the matte finish, we have Bordeaux, Fig, Surfside, Navy Noir, Cocoa, Ash, and Black. So I hope that was helpful. I think these are really great liners. If you love something creamy, easy to use, something that blends out nicely and will set once you leave it, you know, I think this is a really great liner. Is it completely set proof? So as I mentioned, I personally really love these for smudged out liner, but I also like to use them as eyeshadow. So I think they're a really great product. I hope seeing all of the colors together kind of helps you make a decision. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please let me know what you think down below in the comments. I'll see you very soon.